How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So today I'm going out diving with my friend Jordan. You might remember him from my last video where I shot my first ono. So had a super fun dive with him, Blake, and Josh. Shot some nice onos, shot a couple mahis and some uhus as well. So super fun dive. But today we're going off of his dinghy. First time for me ever going off a dinghy, so I'm pretty excited. I've never done it before, and we're gonna hit up some reef zones in the 60-foot range. Hopefully get some, nice goats, nice uhus, hopefully some moo if they're around. But yeah, we'll see what we get. I'm super excited. I haven't done a reef dive in a while. It's been maybe 2 months now. I think the last reef dive I went on was at the end of 2022, so right before the new year. And so I'm pretty excited to have some fun, shoot some nice fish, and hopefully we get lucky. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the water. Shoots. Alright, here we go, guys. So first drop here, going down maybe about 60 feet here, 50 to 60 feet, somewhere in that range. And I hit the bottom, and I had seen a bunch of uhus from the surface. You can see a fantail right there. But as soon as I hit the bottom, a bunch of these moanakali start coming in. And so one of them was pretty big, and I noticed that, so I start lining up on him. He comes in real close here, but doesn't quite give me the shot that I want. And he goes back down, comes right around, and he gives me a good shot here. So I line up and take it. Solid moanakali to start off the dive, and a great first fish. As you can see, there's another uhu, or probably the same uhu right there. And there was a bunch more around, all over the place. A lot of fantails, not too many of the whiptail that you usually see. But there was so much life at this spot. A lot of uhus. A lot of uhus. So Jordan had actually taken a drop right before me, and as you can see, he got a nice uhu, but it got tangled up on this coral head. So I'm just going down here to retrieve his fish, and also to see if that commotion had attracted any predators or any fish at all, really. And so I get it untangled, and I make it so that Jordan can pull it up to the surface. And I'm looking around here, and I see a small uku come in. Pretty cool. Probably a 3-pounder maybe, but not quite big enough to shoot. And then Jordan shot another uhu, this time a fantail one. My favorite uhu to shoot is this one right here, the fantail and the speck. They're the same species, just the speck uhu is the male and the fantails are the female. So going down here, I saw a big speck. He was just cruising down on the bottom, and as I was making my drop, he holes up and goes in underneath this rock here. And so I'm kind of waiting to see if he'll come out, seeing if I can see him inside. And I look into the gap in the rock, and I can see him sitting in there, kind of just waiting, cruising, hiding. And so I line up. So I take my shot here, and I was going for the stone shot, but I don't know why. With uhus, I always miss the mark. No matter how hard I try to stone them, no matter how close, how point blank the shot is, I always miss the stone shot mark. So I'm trying to get him out of the hole here so that he doesn't bend my spear, but I'm pretty sure he bent it. He was fighting pretty hard. You can't really see right now, but eventually I do get him out. And I start pulling him up to the surface. Now this speck right here is the biggest uhu, or biggest speck uhu that I've ever shot in my life. And a lot of people don't have high opinions of shooting blues. The blue ones are the males, and there's only like one for every 5 females. And normally I wouldn't shoot blues, or I wouldn't shoot more than one blue in a dive, but there were so many spec uhus at this spot, so many of these blue ones at this spot, that they were more or less competing for space. Because they were in such a small area, the males are kind of competing. And so when that happens, I feel like it's okay to take a couple, as long as you're not, annihilating the entire blue uhu population in the area. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I'm interested in what you guys think, but that's just how I see it. But yeah, really nice spec right here. Definitely the biggest one I've ever shot, ever. So another drop here, and I saw another spec uhu. You can see him cruising around that cave over there. And so this is the 4th or 5th spec that I've seen just in this small area alone. We didn't really travel that far from spot to spot. This is maybe 50 to 60 yards away from where I shot the Moanakali. So this is a very small area. And so these spec uhus were very concentrated, and I saw this one coming in and out of this hole, but he goes back into the hole and then he doesn't come out again. And so when I figured that he probably wasn't going to come out, I kind of make my way over to him to look inside and see if he's still in there. But like I said, the spec uhu population here was very concentrated. There was a lot of males competing for this small space. And so that's the time I feel like it's okay to shoot a couple, as long as you're not going crazy. But I swim up to the hole here, and I can see him sitting in the back, so I put my gun right up to his face basically, and I just pull the trigger, and I hit him once again, missed the stone shot, and he goes way deep inside this rock, and I almost lost my spear, but eventually I did get him out. I go back down here, and you can see just how far I had to squeeze my way in, just squeezing my way into this cave, trying to get the back end of my spear so I can get some control over the uhu and pull him out. But I couldn't reach a spear, but luckily, I don't know what happened, I yanked one time hard on the line, and he started to come out, and so I just pulled him the rest of the way out. Another beautiful spec. This one actually might be my biggest. It might be a little bit bigger than the first one I shot, but both of them were pretty big. And I actually pointed at another spec uhu, the 6-1 that I had seen that day. I just pointed at, he was swimming away as I was coming up with this one. But yeah, another beautiful spec, another beautiful fish. And like I said, it's just the way that I see it. If you guys disagree with me, I'm more than happy to hear what your guys' thoughts are. I'm just genuinely curious. Jordan, after that, he shot a really nice kumu, maybe like a 2-pounder, solid kumu. So after that, I swam a little bit ways down away from the uhu zone because I was pretty much done shooting uhus. Like I said, I don't like to go crazy. I don't like to shoot a whole bunch of them at once. It was just those two. That was more than enough food for me and my family, and so I figured I was done. Leave the uhus alone. I started looking for other fish, and I saw what I thought was a big omilu swim into this hole. So I get down to the bottom, and I look inside this cave, and sure enough, I can see him cruising around, not doing much. And so I line up and I take a headshot, and he rips off. And first of all, it wasn't an omilu, it ended up being a white. I thought it was an omilu because of its size, but it comes out, and look at my shot placement here. Look at where I hit it. Look at how much skin and bone he had to rip off to get that spear out. I'm so confused as to how he ripped off because of how high the shot placement is. It wasn't super close to the front of his face. It definitely a little bit closer than I would have liked it to be. But I feel like he shouldn't have ripped off there. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. I'm super confused though. But here I am chasing a kahala. And then one comes up next to me, makes it easier. So I started going for that one instead. Line up, take my shot. Thought I spined it, but I guess I didn't because he comes back to life here. And he's fought me for a good amount of time. For those of you wondering why I shoot kahalas in the first place, I've heard they actually taste really, really good, but they oftentimes have a ton of worms in them. So I don't shoot them every time I see them, but sometimes I'll take a shot at one and cut it open just to see if it has worms. And if it doesn't, I'll use the fillets for chum or for fertilizer or something useful like that. Or I'll try and cut, from now on, whenever it has worms, I'm gonna try and find a spot where there's not as much worms, and I can cut a piece off and cook that just so I can see what it tastes like, because I've heard good things about it. It's just that a lot of times they're full of worms. Alright guys, that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Got those two really nice spec uhus, as well as that nice Moana Kali and the kahala, of course. It's a shame I lost that ULUA though, but you know, better luck next time. He was probably only around 15 to 20 pounds, so perfect eating size, but it is what it is. And let me know your guys' thoughts on shooting blue uhus. I usually don't shoot them, or if I do, I'll shoot one if there's a couple of them competing for space. But in this particular spot, there were so many of them, and they were competing with each other, or I assumed that they would be competing with each other for mates and for food. And so I only took a couple out of the 6 or 7 that I saw that day. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, if that's okay, or if that's still not the greatest thing to do. But I thought it was all right just because of how many there were, and of course gonna eat them, and it's gonna be great food for my friends and my family, and so I thought it was all right. But let me know what you guys think. But that's all I got for you guys today. Super fun reef dive, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember, if you like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It really helps out my channel a lot, and I genuinely do appreciate every single one of you. But yeah, that's all I got. I'll see you guys in the next one. Shoots, everybody.